Indian and Chinese borders, leaders shaking hands, moments of conflict and cooperation. India and China, two of the world's largest countries, share a long and complex history. From ancient cultural exchanges to modern-day military tensions, their relationship has been marked by both collaboration and rivalry. In this video, we will explore the history of the China-India relationship, the current situation, their allies, and the countries that remain neutral but support both sides. Historical context: from ancient civilizations to the 20th century, ancient trade routes, cultural and religious exchanges, maps of ancient India and China. India and China have interacted for centuries. In ancient times, both civilizations were part of the Silk Road trade network, exchanging goods, ideas, and even religious influences like Buddhism, which traveled from India to China. Hai Usang and other travelers contributing to India-China relations. However, the modern phase of their relationship began after their independence, India from British rule in 1947, and the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949. Despite early cooperation, border disputes would strain relations. Sino-Indian War and Border Disputes, 1962 present, maps showing the disputed borders of Oxygen and Arunachal Pradesh. Historical footage of 1962 Sino-Indian War. One of the major turning points in India-China relations was the 1962 Sino-Indian War. The war erupted over territorial disputes in the Himalayas, particularly over Oxygen and Arunachal Pradesh. China claimed Oxygen, while India claimed it as part of Jammu and Kashmir. The line of actual control, and ongoing border standoffs. Although the war ended in a Chinese victory, the territorial dispute remains unresolved to this day, resulting in periodic skirmishes and standoffs, like the 2020 Galwan Valley clashes. Current situation: 2024. Chinese and Indian military deployments along the border, diplomatic meetings. Today, the border tensions remain unresolved. Both India and China have increased military deployments along the line of actual control, LAC. Diplomatic efforts have been made to ease tensions, but periodic clashes continue, and the situation remains tense. BRICS and SCO meetings where both countries participate together. Despite these tensions, India and China do cooperate in multilateral forums such as BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO), showing that their relationship is not entirely adversarial. Allies of India and China. Allies of India. Indian flag alongside US, Japan, Australia, and other nations. India and the US have strengthened ties through trade, defense, and regional security. The Quad Alliance, India, US, Japan, and Australia, is seen as a strategic counterbalance to China's influence in the Indo-Pacific. India and Japan share strong economic and strategic relations, particularly in the context of balancing China's rise. India and France have defense and energy cooperation, with India being one of the largest purchasers of French military equipment. India and Australia are increasing their cooperation through the Quad and bilateral defense agreements. Allies of China. Chinese flag alongside Pakistan, Russia, North Korea, etc. China is Pakistan's closest ally, with the two countries collaborating through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC) and military partnerships. This relationship is often seen as a counter to India. Russia and China maintain strong ties in defense, energy, and economic cooperation. Although India and Russia also have a long-standing partnership, Russia leans towards China in broader geopolitical matters. China is North Korea's largest economic and political partner, and both countries maintain a strong relationship. Neutral countries and those supporting both sides. Neutral countries. India and China alongside other neutral nations like Brazil and ASEAN countries. Despite closer ties to China, Russia maintains a strategic relationship with India, particularly in defense. Russia continues to sell arms to both India and China. Both India and China are partners with Brazil in BRICS. Brazil stays neutral in their conflict but engages with both countries economically. Countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, and Singapore seek neutrality, balancing ties between India and China to avoid entanglement in their rivalry. Countries supporting both. Maps showing key neutral countries like Saudi Arabia and Iran. While not taking sides, Iran maintains strong relations with both India, particularly in energy, and China, especially through the Belt and Road Initiative. Saudi Arabia engages diplomatically and economically with both India and China, avoiding direct involvement in their disputes. How India and China support rival countries. China's rival support. China-Pakistan collaboration on CPEC, Chinese investments in Africa and Southeast Asia. China supports Pakistan both economically and militarily, providing critical support in infrastructure and defense. This relationship is one of the primary irritants in India-China relations. China has invested heavily in Myanmar's infrastructure, giving it influence in the region where India also has interests. India's rival support. India supporting Vietnam. India's involvement in infrastructure projects in Afghanistan. India has strengthened ties with Vietnam, a country with its own territorial disputes with China in the South China Sea. India has been a key development partner in Afghanistan, supporting infrastructure projects that indirectly counter China's influence in the region. Conclusion. Future prospects. Indian and Chinese flags with images of diplomatic efforts and border talks. India and China, as two rising global powers, will continue to play a central role in shaping Asia's future. While their relationship is marked by deep mistrust, especially over border disputes, the two countries must navigate a complex web of alliances and geopolitical realities. Cooperation in areas like trade and global governance offers hope, but much will depend on how they manage their regional ambitions. Thank you for watching. We have some amazing videos coming up, so stay tuned for more updates on global geopolitics. And make sure to hit the subscribe button for more.